Called in sick because I have been throwing up with diarrhea and my boss said try to come in and we'll see where it goes. Is this even legal? I work at a grocery store and I called in sick because I have been vomiting with diarrhea all night, but my boss said I should come in anyways and see where it goes. What am I supposed to do? See where it goes? Most likely on the floor in the middle of aisle 2. You're sick, you called in sick, take the sick day. If I was in a grocery store and saw an obviously sick employee anywhere near food, I'd call the health department. Please stay home. It's better if you're standing right in front of your boss when projectile vomiting. Piggybacking off the top comment here for this former grocery store manager here. Screw that. Diarrhea is one of those diseases that can spread like wildfire, especially in a food contact type setting. For perspective, diarrhea is one disease that was straight up blacklisted from working while sick with it, and you needed to be 48 hours clean from any symptoms before being allowed back to work. Your boss should know this. It's part of basic food safety that every store manager is required to complete and be aware of. Clean up on aisle 2. See where it goes, WTF? 2 things. First, with COVID going on, I'm shocked that they would want anyone with any kind of illness going on to come in. Second, my boss did that to me at my first position out of college. I went in, vomited in the garbage can at my desk in front of a bunch of my team. They asked me why I came into work sick and I told them what my manager told me. I believe HR was at my desk like 5 to 10 minutes later. I was never questioned about me feeling ill again after that. I would suggest that you go in and make him look like an asshat. Any other time I'd agree. With COVID. Not worth the risk. I just had 4 staff come back positive with only sinus symptoms. With ops symptoms they definitely need to be home and resting. Most likely they are short-staffed and testing OP. Stay home. They will be worse off if ops illness spreads. I wish my supervisor had enforced her sinus symptoms only staff to stay home. Feel better, edit, spelling. Came here to say the same thing. My first symptoms of COVID were insane diarrhea and nausea. If you have the shits, don't ever go into work, that stuff can be contagious as hell. I'm sorry, but with how COVID is spreading and its potential to harm others, going in to make a boss look like an asshat is just irresponsible. Yes, the boss is being worse by even suggesting that they go in while feeling sick during a pandemic, but encouraging that it also bad, no matter the motive. I used to work a job like that where they expected you to come in sick. It was awful. I wish I would have been more assertive back then, so my advice to you is to firmly say no and try to get a doctor's note. Good luck and I hope you feel better. I've worked places where they didn't do that, but you had to have a BS back to work interview with your boss after every instance of sickness and more than 3 in a year, and you would be on a disciplinary. I thought it was oppressive at both places but had to put up with it because of a lack of options elsewhere. All my food service jobs. Without fail. Send them in after pick of your toilet. Red egg. Worked at a court once upon a time and a lawyer sent in a motion for continuation due to gastroenteritis with proof upon request. Yes, continue this thread. Just say no? Yeah, I'm obviously not going. I'm just wondering if this is commonplace or if it is even legal. I dunno. As someone who appreciates some malicious compliance, I would be tempted to go into work and both puke and shit myself in the first 30 minutes. Malicious compliance is my jam. Must be accompanied with written documentation of the request to see how it goes. Always communicate via a method that can be saved. I'm a spiteful C*NT, but I don't want to risk getting diarrhea in or even by my vagina to prove a point, and that shit gets everywhere thanks to gravity. Why be passive-aggressive about it when you can just say, I am not coming to work today because I am too sick? What's the point in going to work if what actually want to do is stay home? Vomit on him, why not? Or go to work, grab a wastebasket and park in the restroom with a ginger ale and a pillow, for your entire shift. This happened to me when I was a waitress. I was a university student working in a restaurant, during ski season. My boss said that I needed to come in and to try because I was head waitress. I was able to go home. First, I threw up in the customer restroom in front of customers. Yes, I was in the stall, but projectile vomiting leaves an impression. I cleaned the bathroom crying the entire time and stopping to fight the nausea. Poor customers. I could not control it. Second, as soon as I cleaned myself in the stall, I went to my boss and told him I was still vomiting and I needed to go home. He asked me if I could write it out. I vomited on his shoes. It was purely accidental. It left an impression. He told me I could go home. I ran to my car with a bar towel and a trash bag in case I could not make it the 2 miles without needing to hurl again. I did not clean up his shoes. Honestly, these could be COVID-19 symptoms. First, I'm sorry you feel sick. I would be upset too. It is still legal for them to ask, but that's a huge red flag for a toxic environment. Second, is your manager aware there's a pandemic going on? Just an FYI, nausea and vomiting are symptoms of COVID-19. You should begin to self-monitor for any additional symptoms. I've heard more about diarrhea as well, but if it is just those 2 symptoms, they probably just ate something bad. Call the health department on him. Honestly, this is the best reply. He should not be telling an employee to come in sick during COVID. 100% not okay right now. When they say that you need to respond something along the lines of, "No, this call is to tell you I'm not coming in specifically because I'm sick. This wasn't a call for permission to come in while sick. I don't want to get others sick and cause a work slowdown." You need to just outright say no. When you call into your job, you aren't asking permission. You are letting a supervisor or designated agent know that you will not be in that day. You're not asking for permission. You are alerting them to a fact. If a supervisor told me to come in anyway while I am calling in sick, there had better be a damn good reason, and I want to know what that reason is right then and there. In fact, this would be something I would immediately escalate to his supervisor and probably file some sort of ethics complaint. I'm not on board with that BS where your employer can ask you why you're not feeling well. I'm sick. That's all you need to know. Sick enough that I will not be coming in. If you're let go because of that, then enjoy your unemployment while you search for a job that isn't cancerous. Yes. I was in a car accident once. Manger, so you coming in? Me TF, no, of course I didn't say that. I had a manager once when I was a hostess that asked me how long it would take until I got to work after I called to say I was in a crash on my way to work. Any of the servers could have easily covered the hostess stand. It was a slow shift. Anyways, I got fired shortly after. LOL. Oh, this is nothing. While I was at work, I was suddenly hit with COVID-like symptoms. I start at 6 AM, but by 10 AM I thought I was going to die. Fever, cough, and nausea. I told my boss I needed to leave immediately because something was very wrong. Another coworker overheard my boss say it wasn't her problem that I was sick and wasn't able to leave till 2 PM. Turns out 3 days later, get my test results back. COVID positive. All the people around me at work that day had to quarantine and the boss lost thousands of dollars. Guess it is her problem now. LOL. Grinning face with smiling eyes. Since the business protection hasn't happened, could you sue? JW. Stay home. It could be COVID. This is actually a manifestation for some people. Nope. Your boss needs to take his SurSafe certificate. He said try to, which you tried and couldn't. Don't worry beyond that. Such managers are going to teach you tricks that no college or university degree can teach. So I just got my first job ever and they didn't train me at all. I just started working at Target and I made sure they knew I had never worked before and I was very new to everything at my orientation. And I got a very brief tour of the store, but then the next day I had an 8-hour shift first thing in the morning, and first of all, I didn't even meet my manager. I asked this random girl for help because I had no clue what I was doing when I got there, and she kind of helped me fold clothes and remove empty hangers for a while. And then I had someone briefly show me the cash register and online orders as well, but not how to use them, and then I was just essentially told to do whatever. I am not at all confident and I feel like I need a bit more personal focus to understand what it is exactly I need to be doing. I don't need someone to hold my hand, but if I at least had a general idea of what tasks I need to get done, that would be helpful. Anyway, the confusion has caused me so much grief and stress already, and it has only been a couple days. I have the weekend off, but going back gives me so much anxiety and dread, and I've cried every day since I started because I just genuinely have no clue what's going on and no clue who to ask. And I wish I could just not go back, but I honestly don't know what to do. I had heard they treat their employees horribly, but I didn't realize it would be like this. What do I do, please? Do you know who your manager is? If you don't, ask someone. Try to find that person and let them know you would like some training on the register and some direction. They should be able to help you. If your manager isn't in the store, there should be a team lead or someone else in charge. Basically, ask until you figure out who is in charge and then let them know you haven't been trained and would like some help. When I worked at Target, there was a board in the employee room and had what zone you were supposed to be in. Soft was clothing, hard was food, health and beauty, etc. Most of my days were spent organizing shelves and pointing customers in the right direction. If you don't know where to go, find a supervisor and ask. Bug them. They're supposed to be setting your schedule, make them follow through. Remember, this doesn't have to be a career, and having a job at this point in time is, for the most part, a privilege. Hey, I've worked at Target for over 2 years, admittedly not in soft lines, but I'm decently familiar with the position. PM me if you have any questions. I'd also recommend posting this in r/Target. I second this. The people at the Target subreddit are super nice. Ask. It's okay to ask. Ask to shadow someone on the registers, ask to spend the day with someone seeing what they're doing. Don't be afraid to ask your coworkers for help when needed. And don't be afraid to make mistakes, everyone has done it when you are still learning everything. Congrats on landing a job during this global pandemic. Do you remember what position you were hired for? If it's soft lines, your job is to refold, rehang, put back clothes from reshop behind guest service counter and the fitting rooms. Pretty much the same thing for hard lines. Your first week, just focus on getting the lay of the land. Pay attention to where the different brands are, it will make your job faster, and you need to know this for when customers ask. For clothing X, A New Day, Merona, etc., I would shadow someone for the first day or two, someone who's been there for a long time. I don't have advice, but Walmart was the same way, lol. I got minimal training whatsoever and wasn't told about very specific things I needed to know, which made me look like an idiot many times. I'm sorry you're going through this. It is seriously not right. I just started in TJ Maxx, and although the pay is crap, the work environment is really great and everyone helps everyone. Unfortunately, most jobs are a sink or swim situation. Trust me that your managers and co-workers know that you're struggling. Hang in there, things will get easier and it will be good experience for you later because you'll know you got through a situation that was tricky. Talk to your co-workers and try and get a sense of what needs doing. Talk to your manager or supervisor about training. It might be they got distracted by stuff going on elsewhere, or maybe they were just trying to ease you in. When you start working, you think a job is so official because that is what adults do. In all honesty, they will probably be less organized than going to school, although Target should at least have some sort of onboarding set up for you. Like others here have posted, this is a good time to take self-agency. Go ask the manager what you are supposed to do. The earlier you get used to asking for yourself, the better once you enter the workforce. Find your team leader and your trainer and keep asking for help. Keep asking for training until you feel confident in an area. Most of the jobs I've ever had almost no training whatsoever. I was just thrown in right away my first day, expected to work with no instructions. I agree it is very frustrating, but it is surprisingly common in the work world. I've had a total of 8 jobs so far in my life, and I can say only one of them actually took the time to train me and made sure I knew how to do everything before just throwing me to the wolves. My recommendation would be to go into the manager's office and just say that you need some more instruction on what to do. Don't stress. I had plenty of jobs and I can tell you that you will always feel lost at first. It's like that with every new job, just continue to ask questions, you will be fine. If you are not a cashier, you don't really have to worry about that. Trust me, if you were, they would train you on that ASAP. I worked in retail clothing stores before, and all you do is really just walk around organizing, folding, and speaking to customers, helping them find something.
Like and subscribe for more Reddit content. Watch the next video at the top of your screen.